In today's video, we are going to review using PowerPoint to create a certificate for Moodle. So our first step is going to be downloading the building materials. The building materials can be found in the certificate demo Moodle shell under section 2. So once they're downloaded, we can go ahead and just open up a new PowerPoint. So our first step when we are in PowerPoint is going to be adjusting the size of our frame. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit page setup. And I'm going to set our width to 11 inches and our height to 8.5. So our certificate is going to be a standard size sheet of paper. Our next step is going to be using the slide master to edit our PowerPoint. So this can be done by going to view and then selecting slide master. When we select the slide master, we can see on the side here that we have a bunch of pre-formatted layouts. The large layout we can see here at the top is our slide master slide. So this is for content that we do not intend on changing. So this would be anything like a background or a logo, things that again would be permanent on each page no matter what. The smaller slides underneath the slide master are our layout slides. This is where we put content that would change. So for example, any sort of placeholder box where we'd want to put content in, whether it be text or an image, that's where we would put that. So we're just going to go ahead and delete all of these extra layout slides that we do not need. So now that those are deleted, we're just going to go ahead and delete this content within the actual slides themselves. With the slide master slide selected, we're going to go ahead and give this document a background. So we're just going to go to background styles and format background. Now I'm just going to go ahead and select picture or texture fill, and I'm going to select insert. So now we're just going to go ahead and find a background. So once we've gone ahead and added in our background, we're going to go ahead and add in our security pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit insert picture and then picture from file. Again, I'm going to go to our building materials and find our security pattern. Now that it's uploaded, I'm going to go ahead and just adjust the size of it so that it is the same size as the rest of our document. We can see here that the contrast between the background and our security pattern is pretty harsh. We're looking for something a little bit more subtle. So you can go ahead and just adjust the transparency of the security pattern until it's looking a little more subtle and less contrasty with the background. Even just bring this in a little bit more. So now that we've added our security pattern, we can go ahead once more and hit insert picture from file. And we're going to go ahead and just add in a decorative border to our certificate. So again, similar with the security pattern, we're going to go ahead and size up the graphics to reach the edges of our certificate. Now that we have these in, we can go ahead and make adjustments. So this can be done by selecting the content, the foreground objects, and then hitting the format pane. So now that we've gone ahead and uploaded our foreground graphics, we go ahead and make some edits to them. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to break up the two pieces. So this can be done under the graphics format section, and then group, and then ungroup. So we're just going to get a little bit of an alert here. Go ahead and hit yes. So now that we've split up our objects, we can go ahead and individually update them. So for example, this orange and red doesn't quite fit the aesthetic of the rest of my certificate. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the orange sections, and I'm just going to make them gray. So again, I'm going to do the same thing with these red sections, and I'm just going to give them a shade of gray. And then lastly, our dark sections here, maybe we'll give them a blue. So now that everything is styled the way I'd like, I'm going to now insert a third image, which is going to be the word certificate. You can just write the word certificate at the top, or you can use one of the pre-formatted certificate fonts. So we're just going to import this, and we're just going to go ahead and make this kind of big. We'll maybe fill out this whole section, and then maybe we'll make this the same blue to match the blue in our foreground image. So now that we've done this, we're going to use the layout slide to kind of give us an idea of how we want the rest of our content to lay out. So we're going to go ahead and insert some placeholder boxes. So this can be done again in the slide master in the ribbon at the top. We're just going to go ahead and hit insert placeholder, and then we're just going to go ahead and hit text. So now we'll just lay out some boxes and kind of play with how we want the final certificate to look. So we know that this is going to be, for example, our student name. So we can go ahead and just format this. Perhaps we'll just use Arial because it's a font that we know that we'll be able to access in Moodle. So we can go ahead and put Jane Doe. As you can see here, we've gone ahead and added in some content into our certificate. You can see here in our first three sections, our student name, date, and code are all these kind of dotted boxes. So this is letting us know that this content was generated in the layout slide. And then we can see here has completed the phishing email cybersecurity module. So that we can see does not have a dotted box around it. And that is because we added this to our background image or our slide master slide. Because we know that this is going to be fixed content. So when we export our certificate, we want to ensure that the word certificate and the sentence and all of the rest of our content will be exported. When we go to export this file, anything that's within the dotted lines will not appear when saved unless you go in and add content. So now that this is done, we can go ahead and exit the slide master. After we exit out of the slide master, we can see that our new certificate has been added to our slide. So we're just going to go ahead and just delete this pre-formatted content. And again, we can see here that everything that we put just on the slide master slide is in here. So you'll notice that we don't have our student name section, date, or code. However, if we do go in and add a new slide, we can now see that those sections are here. So this part here is kind of good to kind of give you an idea of where and how to line up some of the text, because we'll have to mimic some of this in Moodle when we go to import it into Moodle. So now that we have our layout, we're happy with how everything is looking, we're just going to go ahead and remove this first page and export our file. So we're just going to go to File, Export, and give it a name. And then we're going to save it as a JPEG. So we're just going to go to File Format, and we're going to scroll down to JPEG, and we're going to set our size to 279 by 216.